All right, here we go. All right, perfect. Mr. Muir's here. 6:32. That's enough, right? That's enough of a buffer. And then if anybody else wants to join, then they can jump in while we're rocking. Let's see. Oh, what, Mrs. Joker, I'm gonna make you a co-host, ma'am, just in case, worst case scenario, anything happens to me. If anything happens to me, Mrs. Joker's in charge. That's not different though. That's not different than any other everything else in my life. All right. Parents, hey, Mr. Patel. Hey, Mrs. Riley. Parents, thank you for tuning in. This meeting should be quick. I shouldn't have said that because now it's probably going to turn into a forever meeting. But no, it'll just be really quick. I just wanted to. I always love seeing all the parents' faces. It's it's the thing I miss the most. During everything that's happening, with everything that's happening, just miss seeing all the parents. We just have a couple of quick little things. Really, what prompted us to have this discussion is really two main things. Number one, graduation coming up. Graduation's coming up, and since we're going to be, since we're doing everything in COVID times, we just want to kind of run everybody just through a really quick explanation of everything, which will be intuitive, and everything we say is going to make sense. You're going to go, oh yeah, that makes sense. But just in case there's any questions, because as much as I can sit and think about every possible scenario, and Mrs. Jalkar is even better than me, the two of us combined are not as smart as all of us combined. And so if anybody has a question or a thought, an idea, we can try and incorporate it. And again, like I said, the other thing too is the executive order from Governor Murphy's latest executive order. I'll do that one first, just because it's fast. It's really fast. So the latest executive order, if you haven't heard, which takes effect tomorrow morning. It was announced on Monday or Tuesday. Youth sports competition and practices are canceled in the state, but that does not apply to us. After more clarification from the governor's office, what they really mean is like school-sponsored or school-organized sports competition and practices. Really, and I hope I'm not offending anybody, but like they were really targeting hockey because these hockey leagues are like super spreader events, basically. Like every hockey practice and every hockey game, there were tons of kids getting sick. And again, we won't get into all of the nitty gritty of it, but basically, hold on, I am reading off my notes. Private businesses that offer sports lessons or sports instruction, gymnastics, dance, martial arts. The governor specifically said batting cages. Like if you're going to a private business that offers sport adjacent instruction, those are not affected. And then again, not to get too into the weeds, but I'm accountable to you, right? Like teachers are accountable to you, but you can't fire a teacher. You can't yank your kid from school just like that. And so the level of scrutiny, the level of accountability with like your school events is different than with private business. And depending on the individual business, some individual business owners run a more rigorous, set of protocols. My goal has always been, and I've said this several times, we want this to be the safest place for your kids. And that was my standard pre-COVID. But with COVID, temperatures, oxygen, wipe everything down, 13 feet apart. My goal was always, if you feel like, we're being extra careful, but, we don't want our kids locked in the house all day long. We're going to do one thing. We wanted, ATA Legacy to be the one thing that you felt like, okay, this is the safest thing we can do. And I actually got a call the other day from a parent, and she said that to me verbatim, almost verbatim. My kid really needs this. This is the best activity that I could have my kid do. It's the only thing we're doing because it's also the safest. I was like, oh, thank you. I couldn't have written that script better for a commercial. So it just made me feel really good. So anyway, parents, I won't drone on about that anymore. The executive order does not apply to us for those reasons. No questions on that, right? Moms or dads, no questions on the executive order. Yeah, if your kid's doing dance or gymnastics, they shouldn't be affected. Um, okay, so the thing that will take up a little bit more, the thing that does have more moving parts, graduation. Right? So since COVID started, we've been doing graduations outdoors, and we've been giving families the option to do graduations on Zoom. So we have been doing graduations on Zoom since back in June, um, except that the majority of our students were doing them outdoors. But you can't do graduation outdoors in December, or you're gonna freeze. So we're doing it all. We're doing it all on Zoom. We tried. I mean, we ran simulations and an algebra equation. We were trying to figure out how do we do indoor graduations with limited capacity, and it was just not going to work. And then even if we did figure out a way, we figured the majority of people would say, yeah, you know what, we're going to do Zoom. And so for all those reasons, we decided let's just do it all on Zoom. Again, it's not going to be our first one, so we're not flying blind. Mrs. Jalkar came up with all of the infrastructure and all of the different links and signups and times and payments. She came up with all of that. Again, back in like June for the June one. It really took us March, April, May, and then it was ready for June. And then subsequently in August and then in October, she's kind of fine tuned it and perfected it. So when you hear me say like that Mrs. Jalkar saved the school from COVID, I'm talking about things like that. She really did. I'm not exaggerating. So again, this isn't our first one. We've done it. Basically, what's going to happen, and again, I'm going to read from my notes. Testing week starts next week on Monday. So that means that the kids should have their full uniforms for classes, whether they're in person or via Zoom. Once students have enough classes, once they have enough attendance, we're going to email you their graduation invitation links. Graduation invitations will be sent out via email, where you can where you'll have links to register, pay, choose your time slot. Some of the groups are a little bit smaller, so there's just the one time, like Tigers, for example. That's a small group, so there's one time slot. But our advanced camouflage, the red black belts, that's a big group, and so there's going to be multiple options. So you can do all that through those links. Another thing that we're recommending parents, I know some of us are doing more of one thing than or the other, but if your kids are doing primarily, mainly, or only in-person classes and they haven't been doing Zoom, have them do Zoom at least once or twice a week, so that when December 19th, that's graduation is December 19th. It's a Saturday. It's 2 Saturdays from tomorrow. When December 19th rolls around, you're not trying to figure out the buttons and, I got to move this thing. So just like anything else, we want to practice. So we want to practice on Zoom so that we're familiar with, again, all the buttons and where in your house you're going to train. I know that everybody's trying to do everything, work from home, school from home. And so, taking all that into consideration, we're just asking if you got to move the couch a little bit just for the one day, or, figure out where you're going to put the camera so we can see your kids. We love the kids, and I want to see all of them. Sometimes the kids are doing their moves and like, all I see is this. And I go, all right, that looks like it's right, but I don't know. Like, show me your stance. And the kids are like, show me, let me see you bend your knees, and I can't see their knees. So, again, let me see, who has the best setup here? I'm going to say Mr. Goon. Liam has the best Zoom setup, and that's just out of the parents that are in here. So congratulations, Mr. Goon. Everybody do it like Mr. Goon, like the Goons. I'm going to say Mrs. Goon probably, right? That's what we do. We give the wife credit. So yeah, parents, just have the kids do Zoom. And try to set them up nice for graduation. The other part about the graduation is we are going to create the Zoom meetings ahead of time, and we're going to be sending you guys the link that you can share with your families. So doing the graduation on Zoom it's not the same as doing it in person. And so just to make it extra special for the kids, what we have been doing, and again, we've been doing this the whole time. We've been, sending links to the Zoom event ahead of time to testers, to families, to you guys, so you can then forward that link to grandma in Texas or grandpa over here. It's really awesome. You know, we've had like grandma in India watch graduation, which is really cool.
Wow.
Really, really cool. We've had aunts and uncles from Texas and North Carolina. And really all we need you to do is just forward the information to them. It's basically the link that they can, that they can click on and join. We'll include all of the info so that they can read it. You just have to forward it to them. But all the instructors, all the instructions, all they have to do is they have to change their name, like their device's name, the little thing that happens here in the corner. It just has to read your child's name, the relationship to your child, and their name. So, for example, if I wanted my dad to watch my son do graduation, it would be Leo's grandpa George. So we know, hey, that's Grandpa George. That's Leo's grandpa. Hey, Grandpa George, nice to see you, sir. Because we do shout out the parent. We do shout out spectators. We go, oh, it looks like Uncle John. Michaela's Uncle John is watching. Hey, Uncle John. Michaela, your uncle's watching, so make sure you do really good. So that's it. Plus, we don't want a bunch of like random people just trying to. If someone doesn't do that, we won't let them in. If we don't see your child's name, like Leo or Michaela or Anastasia or Haley, if we don't see your child's name, we won't let them in. So it's really a safety thing first and foremost. But then also we want to make it special, and we want to take advantage of it and just kind of hype up the spectators and hype up the kids, so that they know, that they're watching. What else? So a couple of other quick things. Again, those were the two major things, but since we have you here, we just want to let everybody know. We normally make changes to the schedule like at the beginning of the year, but we've been making changes throughout the last few months because of COVID. And there will be no changes for the 2021 schedule, none that affect the kids. The only thing that is a little different is we are going to be adding another Krav Maga class to Tuesday nights. So, hey, parents, if you're like, you know what, in the new year, I want to get fit, do the Krav class. Don't be intimidated. I don't know if people are intimidated, if it's too late. Whatever the reason that more people aren't doing Krav, you should do it. Mr. Muir, I see Mr. Muir is on here. Mr. Muir is one of our Krav dads. And, he's a regular guy just like you. He's really cool, but, normal guy. That you don't have to have experience to do Krav. It's a lot of fun. Right, sir? What do you think, Mr. Muir? How scary or hard is it?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. It's not scary at all.
Bunch of good people, bunch of cool guys, right? Some cool guys.
Oh yeah, it's a great bunch of people. It's a good workout. Great self-defense skills, and I really like it.
Yeah, thank you, sir. No, it's a good time. So parents, no changes for the New Year schedule. If we do have to adjust for some reason, we'll let you know with plenty of time. Again, normally we would make changes once a year at the beginning of the year. With COVID, we've been making changes. We've made a couple of changes, as the reopenings were allowed, and then at graduation time. So if we do anticipate, if we do have to do any changes, it wouldn't happen until sometime in like end of February. One other, you know what? So at this point, what I want to do is I want to turn things over to Mrs. Juglakar. She does have a few more details, points, topics that she wants to cover. I will spotlight you, ma'am. I don't know if you can spotlight yourself, but I will spotlight you and take it away, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Can you hear me? Thumbs up. Can everybody hear me? Master Lee?
Yes, ma'am. I hear you
Okay,
loud and
good.
clear.
All right. So just a few things, right? One, let me start with the in-person signups. If your kids are coming in for in-person classes, please sign them up. And if they're not going to make it, either call us or just take them off the list, because sometimes we have a full list and then people don't sign up but come in anyway. We don't want to have to turn anyone away. Hasn't happened yet, but it could. It almost happened today. And then when we have 9 people signed up and then we assign instructors, right? And then nobody shows up. We have 2 instructors here and 2 kids. So use the in-person signups, please. Second thing, attendance. You have access to the sheets where your kids' attendance is being tracked. Keep an eye on it. for the younger kids. And if we miss anything, definitely call, leave a message, or send me an email with the date, and it'll get updated. This might be something for the kids to keep track of, make them accountable for it, and then if they tell me that I've kept track of it and, you missed a date, I will happily change it. Also, make sure that the devices stay on. I know some of us have, I don't know, internet problems, but if the device isn't on, it's hard for the instructors to see that the child's actually following along. So device needs to stay on. Third thing, for graduation, everything's Zoom. So obviously we can't give the kids their belts. For those who come in person, as soon as they're back in class next, in January, the day they come into class, they will get their belts. For everyone else who's doing it, has been doing it on Zoom, it'll be out in the vestibule, ready for pickup, just as usual. Last point, call for anything. Email me. If I'm not here, I will call you back. The parents who come in, I really appreciate having them stop by and say hello. And, we have a chat, quick catch up. Do that, right? If you're tired of talking just with your husband or your wife or your kids, call me. I appreciate having a chat with any one of you. Some of you have done it, and I love it. So do it. That's all I've got, Master Lee.
Thank you, Mrs. Jalkar. So, parents, any questions on any of that so far? We do have a couple of other quick little things, but before we go any farther and switch topics, because I always forget stuff. If we change subjects, I forget. Any questions on any of that?
Master Lee, a quick question. This is Debashish.
Hey, what's up? There you are.
Hey, yeah. So just want to check those from this week. There will be regular classes, though. The in-person classes will still be there, right?
Correct.
This week.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're here tonight. We've been here a week. We'll be here tomorrow. So we're here next week, and next week starts testing week. The week after is graduation week. Graduation is December 19th, which is a Saturday. And then just like every other year, just as per normal, we will do our holiday recess, which we take a break for the weeks of Christmas and New Year. So after graduation on the 19th, we'll shut it down for the week of Christmas, the week of New Year, and then we reopen on January 4th, right? January 2nd is a Saturday. And parents, currently Saturdays are the least attended days of the week. Which if you guys are like busy going out on Saturday because there's so many places to go, okay. But if you just didn't know that Saturdays were an option, do start doing Saturdays. Saturdays are hybrid days, which means there's kids on the mat doing classes in person, and the Zoom device is streaming that same class. Mr. Abrupta and Mr. Rahilas are both here, so there's two instructors. So that way, they actually like take turns. One of them is more focused on the kids in the building, and then the other one will kind of focus a little bit more on the kids at home. So, do have your kids participate on Saturday in either format. But since Saturdays are currently, just for whatever reason, like I said at the beginning, the least attended classes of the week, we decided instead of coming back January 2nd on a Saturday, we'll just hold off and have a nice clean start January 4th. Let's see. So on that topic, parents, every year we normally have like a holiday party, which is a tradition that I really love and hold dear. And again, I know that this year with everything that's happening, there's so much uncertainty. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? We're going to do a Zoom holiday party. Not for me. I mean, really for me, but we're going to do it for the kids, for your kids. I say this all the time. I don't take myself seriously, but I take my job really seriously. And I appreciate the trust that, the community puts, in my hands. And I feel like Mrs. Jalkar and I, we had this conversation a while ago. What are we going to do? I don't know what we're going to do. Even if we're just, looking at each other, telling stories. What if nobody can make it? You know what? If only 2 people make it, well, then we're there for those 2 people. But again, we want to we want your kids to, have as much continuity as possible. kids are resilient. We're resilient. People are resilient. So if it's a little different, that's fine. But we don't want to not do things just because they're going to be different or harder. We're going to put out more details on that soon. The holiday party will be on the 19th. It'll be the same day as graduation. So we'll have graduations throughout the day and then the holiday party in the evening, which is what we used to do before. Holiday parties have always been on the last day of on the day of graduation, which used to be like, oh, we're doing graduations all day, and then by the end of the night, the staff is just wiped, and then we need that holiday recess. So keep an eye out for the details. We're still working on what can we do via Zoom? We're still brainstorming. By the way, if anybody wants to be on the holiday party Zoom committee, send me a message, raise your hand. If you have oh man, I have this great idea. We could do this. Let me know, because we're looking for ideas. We have a few, but we'll take some more. Let's see. And then one more thing. I'm not sure if it's if there's something else, but we will continue our other tradition, parents, of offering all of our members a gift certificate, because it's not going to be physical anymore. We're going to make some type of digital version of the greatest holiday gift ever. If you're not aware, we do have a couple of new people. If you're not aware, the greatest holiday gift ever is a gift certificate that we give to our members, to you, for you to give to a friend, relative, neighbor, coworker, for them to come in and do, classes, free classes. And it's not a trick, it's free. They don't have to give us a credit card or a deposit or anything like that. Obviously, right? I try to be an honest person. Obviously, I hope they love the classes and that they continue and they register and they become a full member. We want to grow our business. But if they just do those, that month, that 6 weeks, whatever it is, and they don't continue, then it costs you nothing, it costs them nothing, and nothing happens. So we are going to continue that tradition as well. The greatest holiday gift ever will happen again. Again, it's probably just going to be like a link, an email, a graphic that you forward to someone, and we're still trying to figure that out, Mrs. Jalakar and I. So that's that. Am I missing anything, Mrs. Jalakar? Does it sound like everything that we discussed? All right. Parents, are there any questions? Is there anything, questions obviously, but is there any concerns, anything that you're like, hey, Mashley, have you thought about this? That is a question. Anything like that anybody wants to put out there? No, man, that's it. No? Okay.
Master Lee?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So I know I go to the family fitness class on Saturday mornings and it's dwindling. So I wanted to, maybe it's a chance to bring it up and remind folks that it's there. It's great. It's a really great way to start your weekend. Really.
Yeah, tell all the families a little bit more about that, ma'am. I just spotlighted you.
Sure. So it's about 45 minutes or even less. Usually Mr. Abrupta teaches the class. Sometimes Mr. Argilis comes in, and it's for any family member. I have had my sister join from Texas. And it's a good workout. It's not too strenuous. And there's a nice little stretching and yoga, not yoga, but nice little stretch at the end. You just feel like you already started your Saturday and your weekend on a great note and you already accomplished something. And the class is dwindling, so I worry that we may end up canceling it, but that's why I wanted to just bring it up to everyone again.
Thank you, ma'am.
Sure.
Right. So don't take my word for it, folks. Yeah. Yep. That's something that we started early, and you know what, Ms. Joku is speaking from. She's coming from experience, right? So we did get rid of the class for a little bit, but then, right? Can you imagine what happened when we got rid of it? Everybody's like, "Oh, why'd you get rid of it? I was just taking a couple weeks off. I'll do it again," and so we brought it back. Yeah, parents, it's just a little fitness class. It's just a little exercise. Honestly, you want to know what it is? It's something for you to do with your kids on Saturday morning. That's it. You're not going to lose. You're not going to lose 20 pounds. Not with one 30-minute class. You're not. You're not going to be the fittest you've ever been. But it's something that you can do with your kids on a Saturday morning. That was the idea. You can do it by yourself. It is a good workout, but it's not super hard, like Ms. Joku said. Thank you, ma'am.
Of course.
Anybody else, folks? Any other questions? I see we got a volunteer with a holiday party. Awesome. Thank you, Mrs. Catanaro. Yeah, we don't know what we're gonna do, but I'm sure together we can come up with something. What's happening? Yes, sir. Mr. Stabile, how's it going?
Good, Master Lee. How are you? I came in late. So just a question. I know I came in when you were saying that you had extra spots for on the Saturday classes. Are they still limited just to one in person, or if there's classes that are open, are they allowed to go to a second in-person class?
So, okay, great. No, thank you for asking that, sir. No, we didn't cover that specifically, but here, let me spotlight myself again. Oh, thank you. Thank you, ma'am. So here's what we've been doing, parents, right? I'll give it to you really quick. We took the number of active members and the number of spots in the class, the days of the week. We did a little math, and we figured this is how many classes everybody can take so that everybody else can still take classes. However, not everybody's coming to in-person. So in most of our classes, there is extra rooms. And for families that want to come in more in person, what we've said is, to be fair, if more and more people start coming in, you know, we have to follow the original limit, but we'd rather have you come to we'd rather have your kids come to more in-person classes than have the spots empty. So yes, that's our standing kind of policy. Check in with us. So Mr. Stabile, like if Aiden's coming in, he does what, like Tuesdays, right? Like Mondays or Tuesdays or whatever days he's doing. If you do want to have him come in on an extra day, just reach out to us. Again, we want to be fair. So the fair thing is to just, you know, make that policy available to everybody. If parents, if your child is already coming to their allotted amount of classes, but you're like, man, I would really like for my kid to come to another one, just reach out to us, call, text, email, and then if there is room, because not everybody's doing their classes that we allotted for them, then yeah, then we'll put you down. You know, and again, I think that everybody can understand that, just to be fair, if more families do decide, hey, you know what, we're ready to come back to in-person classes, I want to sign up on this day, then we'll go, hey, Mr. Stabile, you know what, unfortunately, like we have a few other families that you know would want to take that class, you know, could you do this other day, or you know, or we're just gonna have to scale it back, because we are doing that. So yes, sir, you can certainly reach out and we'll accommodate you wherever possible, you know, in a fair, equitable way. All right. Any other questions, parents? I really miss you guys. I really do. I miss seeing. I miss. You know, I love seeing the kids. Man, what a big difference. You know, having the kids come in. But I do miss seeing the parents. I hope everyone's doing good. Mrs. Jalkar a little bit ago was saying, when a parent does come in or calls, and you know, you connect, it almost feels like, you know, I grew up Catholic, like confession, where you just purge your soul. So parents, you know, call us or just stop in and chat. I mean, I really love catching up with the parents. You know, we need what? We need air, food, and water and sleep, but you also need that human connection. You know, it's right. What are the 6 basic human needs? Consistency, variety, connection, significance. You know, we need significance and connection. So give us a call, stop in. Obviously, we have to respect social distancing and capacity restrictions, but you know, swing by or call and say hello. I hope everyone's doing well. And again, as always, if there's any questions, you know, I try to make myself as available as possible. I know Mrs. Jalkar is talking to people every day, you know, 2 or 3 people a day. So thank you, ma'am. Anything else, folks? Mrs. Jalkar, is there anything else that you wanted to add, ma'am? Either clarification or anything else? Any questions, parents? Hey, Aiden, what's up? What's up, Aaron? All right, Mrs. Orlik, your Christmas tree looks beautiful, ma'am.
Hi.
Hello.
What? What? I had a question, Master Lee.
Yes, ma'am.
Any new mandates from the governor coming up, or any new changes that you've heard?
So just the ones from Monday, the one that they announced like Sunday, like I think he had a press conference Sunday, and then Monday or Tuesday, like they put out the official executive order. And we discussed that earlier. That does not apply to us. That was really
Okay.
more for like school organized or school sponsored sports. Specifically hockey seems to be an issue with spread. But there was clarification from the governor's office that private businesses that offer lessons and instruction are not affected. So your gymnastics, dance, and karate schools are not affected. As far as like, is there something else coming up that me and the governor talk about like on the weekends?
Nothing like that.
I'm not that close to Uncle Phil.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but have you had any COVID cases in the school?
None. Oh, sorry. You know what? So we did have one member who got it. Like they went away. They were away, whatever, with family, and then before they came back in the building, they're like, "Hey, you're not going to see me for a while because I got COVID over the weekend." So,
Okay.
so we did have somebody, that I know of, right? Because you may have had COVID that I didn't know about, but that I know
Right.
of, we had one member that contacted us and say, "Hey, we need to pause for a little bit because we got COVID last week." But they didn't
Right.
come to the building after they were, around the other people that they got COVID with.
Okay.
It was one of those family gatherings, right? Like they had a family weekend and everybody got it. And they're okay. I only, pardon my, that was maybe an inappropriate laugh or chuckle. It's because, we're all being so careful and we're like, we're just going to be with family. And they're totally fine. And they were self-deprecating. They were like, yeah, that was stupid. But no, besides that I know of, no.
Okay.
We've had a couple, like one or two people that do the same thing, that they're like, hey, somebody in my kid's class or somebody,
Right.
another child or my cousin, and they don't show up. And then they call back later, a day or two later, and they go, yeah, we tested negative. So we've had that, a couple of those. The one person who was positive, but they haven't come in. They didn't come in since being exposed. So fortunately, knock on wood, no real scares like that. No, ma'am.
Okay. That's good. That's great to hear. It's I mean, with Somerset County, the cases have risen by 8.8%. So it's rising fast. And that was the concern when we were just getting ready to send everybody back to start in-person classes. The numbers started rising again. So that was the reason my question. I mean, I know you are observing not 6 foot, but like 12 feet social distancing
13.
in the classroom. Oh, it's 13. Okay. So that's good to know. And we are still masking while doing Taekwondo. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. So everybody's masked up the whole time. I took this off just so I could speak more clearly, and I shut my door, which is never shut, and it's hot in here.
Okay.
But yeah, like I'm masked up the whole time. Yeah, everybody's wearing masks in class always. Right now, masks all the time. And it's funny, like, yeah, cases are going up, numbers are going up, but there's nothing more that we can do because we're already doing everything. And even with the numbers going up, I feel like we've been doing it right. We were being extra. So there's nothing more that we can do. And we're not gonna let off the safety procedures. The vaccine news seems to be positive, and so we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing. There's no need to. It makes no sense in, letting off now, right? When the cavalry is coming, you don't surrender before you hunker
You go
down,
on.
and you double down. So yeah. So knock on wood, everything's been working for us, and everybody here has been good.
Yeah, you never know, Mrs. Oglekar. I might call you for some psychotherapy with it's like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not, when you're not being left alone even for like a few minutes. So I might take you up on the offer.
Absolutely. That was my point. I appreciate being able to talk to you guys, and I return the favor anytime.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you, Master Lee.
Thank you, ma'am. Anything else, folks? Moms, dads, parents? No. And as always, thank you for logging into this. We're gonna share this link so that everybody else can watch it. But We appreciate you guys. If you think of anything later, like, oh man, I forgot about this thing, send it and we'll consider it, or right, we'll give it its due attention. Yeah, reach out to us anytime, parents. It's great to see you. I hope everyone's doing well, and thank you all for your continued support. This first few months were really rough, but we're in a much better place, and we're building back better. We're climbing back up. We have had some new members, so thank you for all of your reviews. I don't know how it works. You don't know how it works, but when you leave a Google review, it helps small businesses. So if you're like, oh man, I wish I could help the small businesses in town, but I can't buy pizza from everybody, just leave reviews. That's a cheap way, right? All it takes is your time. Leave reviews for everyone and everywhere you've been to, because we have been getting a lot more people recently. So we're doing a little bit better. And again, thank you guys all for your continued support. We'll see you guys soon, and have an awesome weekend. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. Have a great one. We'll be in touch.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Master Lee. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.